What's up, everybody? So I'm just sitting here scrolling through my phone, and this is not really a video, and I wasn't planning to do this until like 30 seconds ago. But this is not a video that I want to do because I feel like it's going to be seen as being critical of people in my industry. And I'm not trying to throw anybody under the bus, but I will say one thing. Where have you been? If you're a real estate agent and you're finally admitting for the first time that we're going through a market correction, congratulations, but where have you been? This has been going on for the last 3 years. We've had at least 3 solid years of consistent data that showed that the real estate market was going through a correction. And I think the general public understands this for the most part, especially now. I think it's more evident. I think it's more obvious. And I think a lot of real estate agents, for the first time, are being almost forced to acknowledge it. And I think it's unfortunate in that regard, but I think it is fortunate that finally people are admitting it. Um, but when I was doing this before, back in 2023, for example, when everything was crazy and people were going through multiple offer situations, and back then I was telling people, this is not going to continue. Eventually prices are going to go down and we're going to start to see reality. And people said, you're doom and gloom. We want this to continue. And I said, what's doom and gloom really? How do you define that? Because I define doom and gloom as the average person not being able to buy a house. Whenever half of your income is going to your house payment, I don't consider that sustainable, and I don't consider that something that's going to benefit someone who's trying to raise a family and go buy groceries and gas and whatever other necessities you need in life. To spend that much money as a percentage of your income, and they were giving people loans for 50% of their income. Debt to income ratios were like half, which is ridiculous. You shouldn't spend any more than 30% of your income on your house payment, and less than that is probably 30% is even high. But as far as doom and gloom goes, guys, I consider doom and gloom not being able to buy a house. And I consider the fact that prices are going down to be a good thing. And I think people need to understand something. I think the state of the economy has been defined totally wrong by the media and by people that are out of touch, like Dave Ramsey, for example, and Barbara Corcoran, who sit here and tell people the real estate prices only go up. Those people are out of touch. But the state of the economy for far too long has been defined by the performance of the stock market. And that just isn't reality. And I'll give you an example. Just the other day, UPS announced that they're laying off 20,000 employees. That same day, the stock market went up 300 points. So there's a discrepancy between reality and the stock market. Now, those 20,000 employees that UPS is laying off means that that's 20,000 people that potentially cannot pay their mortgage. So that's how, in a real world situation, the housing market gets affected. So those are the things you need to pay attention to. And it's not just UPS that's laying people off. We're seeing layoffs, like massive layoffs from big companies. And those layoffs that's going to trickle down. It's going to affect the housing market. So when I say pay attention to things like that, that's what I mean. Don't look at the stock market. Don't look at people say who are multi-billionaires, and don't look at what people in my industry say, because the incentive for people in my industry is to tell people that home price is only going to go up, and you better jump in now. And when rates go back down, it's going to create this frenzy. And I've always said the opposite of all that, but those are all selling points. And you as a buyer or a potential buyer need to recognize the difference between a sales pitch and someone who's being honest with you, because someone who's being honest with you is going to give you information to help you make a decision that's best for you and your family, and not making a decision based on, oh, I need to hurry up and do something, and this fear of missing out is going to motivate me to do it. I think that's dangerous, and I think it's unfortunate that that's the way so many people in the real estate industry operate. But I'm going to continue to do what I do. I'm not telling people to not buy or to buy, one way or the other. That's up to you. That's your personal decision that you need to make on your own, you and your family. But I'm here to assist you in that endeavor, and I hope I can do that. So that's what I want to say. I think that I don't want to come across as being critical, but at the same time, guys, you have to acknowledge reality for what it is. And I'm going to continue to give you the information based on facts, and you guys are going to make the decision on whether or not it's a good time to buy a house. So with that said, guys, have an awesome day. God bless.